Betsy over here on the right that I've been dealing with for almost 4 weeks. Her crop's getting a lot better, but boy, it was a tough one. I don't know what was going on with her. And now Bailey, whose crop is having issues. Was in a full molt. Her crop pretty much just quit. I don't know what's up with this. I had two hatchery Brahmas previously. One of them had crop issues from the time she was 5 years old. I don't know. It's like these two got hold of something out on range. They don't have pendulous crop. They might after this, but my hatchery girl, she had pendulous crop. And so her crop, the stuff in her crop hung down too low to get back through the hole, and we had to always manage her crop. I hope these girls are not going to have a chronic crop issue. That would be a problem. That would be a terrible problem. We're going to have to think about this. Good Sunday morning, everybody. This is my old lady group number 2. Miss Moretta right there, my Easter egger, who's half blue wheaten Americana and half Easter egger. She actually started laying her beautiful turquoise blue eggs again after, I don't know, an 8-month hiatus. All of a sudden I'm getting some of these hens coming back into lay in winter. It is interesting. My husband and I have been talking about, something, what to do with the chickens and SHTF. No, I'm not going to eat them. Thing is, some of these hens are so dang old, who the heck would want to eat them? But, people prepare for themselves. They get the food, they get the medical supplies, they got the toilet paper. Can't forget that toilet paper. My husband said the other day, he says, well, if it hits the fan, we've got plenty of toilet paper to clean it up. He thinks he's being funny. Well, it was mildly funny. Well, Zara, you're getting your feathers back finally. You are skinny, though, girl. She's usually as big as that other Ward Rock girl out there, her sister. But I said, what about the chickens? Well, we've got 2 breeding groups. We have 2 different lines of barred Plymouth Rocks, each with their own rooster that, they can't get along. They'd try to kill each other if they were together. And we've got the Brahmas with big old Sebastian. And, hi Neela, my crippled girl. She's so arthritic, poor old girl. And Alice Blue, her sister. We were thinking about, what do we do with the chickens? What if we can't buy commercial chicken feed? Well, my chickens do get out in free range on a rotating basis because, of course, I have groups that don't get along with each other. They have never been in the same group, and, then you've got the roosters who can't get along. I got 2 Bantam roosters that the old ladies hate because one of them he wants to fight with every hen who's not one of his little hens. He's just a pain in the butt. And of course the big roosters won't get along with the little roosters, and so they have to be separate. Well, in an SHTF situation, and when I can't get commercial feed and they must free range to get more of their own feed, I can't be having separate groups. They need to free range all day, or most of every day that they can possibly be out, weather permitting. They have to all be out together. And if they have a rooster with them, that's fine. But say, for example, look at poor old crippled Neela. She's a little girl. Of course, I'd have to have a group of old hens by themselves that can't have a rooster. She couldn't possibly have a rooster jumping her bones. Her hock joint is too painful, and she's very crippled, very frail. But aside from the really old hens who can't have a rooster with them, what about all the other groups? Now, you can't separate breeds. Roosters will breed anything that moves. They don't care if it's their own breed or not. I couldn't separate my breeds. I would have to have a laying flock, maybe a rooster or 2 running with the flock out in free range to watch out for predators. I can't do that if I've got roosters that fight with each other. So my thoughts were, they'll have to get more of their own food. Now that we've cleared a lot of pasture land and we've got grasses that grow, they have a lot of forage available in the spring and summer and fall. Winter's a little bit trickier. But I would be able to cut way back on my commercial feed and perhaps not feed any commercial feed. Just get them, the cornbread or, kitchen scraps to supplement what they couldn't I know I don't find out on range, excuse me. Trying to talk today, it's not working so well. Um, but in order for them to free range as a group, and I'm going to have to wait for a lot of these old hens to die out. But I would have to not have my roosters that I have now. Bash, the Brahma, he is way too big for almost all these hens. These little blue Plymouth Rock hens are much smaller. My Easter egger hens, much smaller. Um, Most of my hens are much too small for a big old Brahma rooster, even if he got along with the other roosters. So I would have to get a smaller bodied rooster. It doesn't even matter if it's a Bantam Cochin or something. Roosters basically, you don't get them to fight predators. You get them to throw themselves at a predator so the girls can get to safety. You get them basically as watchdogs. They watch the skies, so they're really looking out for things. When the hens you see what the hens do, their heads down all the time. They don't watch the skies as well as a rooster does. I have some hens who are pretty good at it, but generally they're head down while the roosters are head up. And I'm thinking in the future I'm going to have to change my management entirely. I may not have my breeds anymore. I may have a mixed flock, and I'm talking very mixed different breeds, but also mixed breeds, because one rooster is going to breed everybody in the flock, unless I have just one particular breed of hen. And I think that's probably not doing myself any favors, because different hens are going to live different lives and different production. So I may have to go back to what I had in the very beginning, over a dozen years ago, a flock with several breeds in it, one rooster just to kind of watch out for them as they run around, free range almost all day, every day, back in at night, and they find most of their own food. But the difference is now I've got pasture, I've got sunlight, and I've got a lot of greens that grow out here, whereas here it was until last few years, basically the woods were pretty much up to the house. So we have a different type of property now than we used to, and it's very well set for birds to find their food on range. And I have a lot of cover for for hiding from predators. Um, so, in SHTF, when you cannot buy commercial chicken feed at all, and you cannot, if you're a breeder and you've got different pens of different breeds and their own roosters, and the roosters cannot fight, they're going to fight with each other if you put them together. And you're either going to have dead birds, or you're going to have bleeding birds, blood everywhere, injured birds you have to deal with. Trust me, that's no fun. You don't want to do that. You're going to have to think of a different way to manage your flocks if you want to keep flocks when the world's in turmoil, and say you have a really hard time getting any commercial chicken feed of any sort. Plus, you don't want to have to buy the feed then either. Money's going to be tight too, even if you could find the feed. So, think ahead as to what you would do, especially if you have, like I do, 3 different breeding pens, plus groups of hens that don't get along because they've never really been together. Plus, you got elderly hens. So I think our future is going to end up being one pen for really crippled elderly hens, and then one big flock of everybody else. And I'm going to have to wait for a lot of things to change, and over time, through attrition, people die out or leave or whatever. I can't sell my birds off. After I get attached to certain, that they've been here a few years, I have a really hard time selling them. I've rarely ever done that. I know that would be the easy way to go. Of course, a lot of these birds don't lay enough for anybody to want them for laying hens, so what good would that be? And I'm not going to process them. I'm just not going to do it. So, but think ahead to that, okay? Just thoughts I've been having lately, and I'm going to have to start changing up the way I do things. Hang on just a minute, guys. Take a look at my new pens for my 2 old crippled ladies, my most crippled ladies, Snow and Amanda. Snow is almost 10, Amanda's almost 11, and they've lost the use of one leg. So within this pen, I built 2 wall pens. There's one heat lamp because they do need heat. These girls are very, very thin and very old, and they have bad joints. They have a little reptile bulb up there, not a big heat lamp. And I can cover the pen. They have their own food and water. Nobody messes it up. And they can still see their peeps below. And so now I've got 3 cages instead of 2. I have a hospital cage over behind me where I have 2 ailing Brahmas. I don't know. They've become, a couple of them are prone to crop issues for some reason, or 2 of them got hold of something out on range. I'm not sure what happened with that. They're better now. One of them's a lot better. I've been working with her for almost a month. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. That's kind of strange. But anyway, there's my new pen inside the pen. Let me back up so you can see this a little better. Hope you can see that. It's a pen within a 5x8 pen. And so far it's working well. It means I don't have to bend over to deal with food and water for Snow and Amanda while everybody else is messing up their food and water. So, hope you like that. It was all recycled lumber. I mean, I didn't buy anything but the hinges, really. And some washers and some shorter screws that I needed. That's it. So, I'll talk to y'all later. Hope you got something out of what I was trying to say. And think about it. If you have livestock, what are you going to do if you can't get commercial feed or if you can't afford to feed them? What's going to happen in a really bad crisis situation? Talk to you guys soon. Bye.